Do you hear me? Like, we quit a job that would have been there for us forever. We did it together. Terrified. With 2 kids, a house, and a future that relies on us. We quit our job. I need to say something because social media is lying to a lot of people right now. Entrepreneurship, it isn't freedom. It's definitely not fast. It's definitely not easy. And it's definitely not free. I went from working in a factory warehouse to owning our own business. Did this all within the last year or two. And I promise you, I can tell you the real side of it that no one would ever tell you. And yeah, it changed our life, but not the way you think. This video ain't about motivation. It ain't about flexing. It's about the truth, especially if you clocking in every single day, just like I was for more than half of my life. And you're wondering if there's more out there. Because when we jumped off that bridge with 2 kids, a wife, and a house to take care of, nobody told us it was like this. Nobody told us what it really cost to be your own boss. I remember the warehouse days, man. The clocking in, clocking out, the long shifts. I remember the days we used to stay in that joint to 10 o'clock at night, and the warehouse closed at 5 at the time. Like, we put in so much hours and so much work building something for somebody else. Like, you clock in, you clock out, and you repeat. But at first, it's fine. And then later, as you're looking at your life as it's passing you by. Like, for me, it was waking up early morning to get a fresh shot of testosterone as soon as I get to work. Lifting metal all day, cutting metal, oily grease, breathing in a whole bunch of stuff that you don't even want to be breathing in all day long, all different type of lead and particles and things like that. But it also taught me how to manage people and, you know, how to act in certain situations. And how, you know, different employees are. You can't speak to every employee the same way as you would talk to somebody else. Everybody don't have thick skin, right? So being in that industry and moving up the ladder also taught me so much that I was able to carry over, and all the values I was able to carry over into my own business, right? But it also taught you things that you would not allow in your business. It also taught you things that you would not let fly in your business. So working in warehouses has taught me a lot. And I promise you, the warehouse wasn't the enemy. But what hurt me really was the lack of control. I didn't control my time. I didn't control my money. Right? Because my problem is, as the boss I used to get brothers and friends multiple chances over and over again at work. And that shit came back to bite me in the ass. When you get other employees that's saying why they get this special treatment and why they get that. In the beginning, it never was special treatment. Over time, it grows into special treatment because it's what they are allowed to do. And the little things that you allow every single day, that creates your standards. So that was my problem in the beginning. And being a young boss, being a young, you know, foreman of 30, 40 people, it was something I had to learn. It was something I'm still learning about the other side of entrepreneurship. It ain't all glamorous. You're going to have employees that dislike you. Everybody's not going to like what they're doing. That's one thing you have to just get that through your head immediately. All right? I never liked what I was doing, but I always took pride in it, and I did it to the best of my ability. And now that I'm building this service business with my wife, we don't like what we're doing, right? But we get to help the community, and we get to make money at the same time. And we doing what we got to do for our family. You think we like staying up late, shooting invoices and quotes? You think we like driving all around town, wasting a full tank of gas, doing quotes and not landing no jobs? You think we like when that one petty client calls us and says, hey, you missed the spot? You know, you think we enjoy these things? We don't. So now, when I was sitting there working in that warehouse, and was nothing wrong with that, I would have retired there. I had to look myself in the mirror and say, can I see myself doing this for the next 10 to 20 to 30 years. And when I looked around, I did not want to be there. Not for no 10 to 20 to 30 years. I was there for 8 years. I would have gave that place a decade of my life. But I gave the working class over 15 years of my life, working in restaurants and different warehouses, right? You have to start somewhere, no matter where you at. But that's the question that messed me up. Do I see myself being here in the next 10 to 20 to 30 years? I'm 31. So I could not see myself being there at 61 years old, being a human forklift. I called my brother last night. He's 36, 31. He's 5 years older than me. I said, bro, do your body hurt as much as mine does? He said, bro, I'm not even gonna lie to you. No, it don't. He said, my body do not hurt as much as yours. It's because of the things you do in life. Age ain't nothing but a number. I'm 31, my brother is 36, and he said his back is fine, right? It's because I've been working with my back since I can remember. Like, and when we left Speedy Metals, like, it wasn't no, cinema movie moment. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't no big party and guaranteed, oh man, you're going to start the next journey of your life. No, I kind of feel like I was pushed out. I was trying to build something on the side while trying to leave my foot in the door there. We wasn't ready. We was scared, terrified. I did not want to jump off that cliff just yet. I had just worked my way up to the point where I was making salary. It was my first year making salary, and I didn't even make it a full year before I left. And honestly, I feel like friends turned on me. People turned on me. People that once said you're the best boss I ever had, and I always try to lead by example. I never was the person that'll tell you to go scrub the toilet if I'm not willing to do it, right? I'm in there grinding just as hard as the next person, even though I put in way more work than them, right? So that's what killed me. That's why I left, because my energy was off. I couldn't keep my energy there no more. So it honestly drove us even further and further and harder to try to build this business up and build it up to something that we can stand on, right? Ain't nothing wrong with being on the bottom. You know why? Because it's hard enough to build something on. And that's where we felt like we was. After we left Speedy Metals, cut ties with 401ks, and we left all the benefits behind to jump off a cliff, to jump into the unknown, to jump into the abyss. It was the most terrifying thing we ever done in our life. And I say we because me and my wife did it. We did it together. Terrified. With 2 kids, a house, and a future that relies on us. We quit our job. Do you hear me? Like, we quit a job that would have been there for us forever. We could have 60, 70. We could have retired here, y'all. But this right here is where some people stop telling the story at. And say, oh, I quit my job. And, what happens is people quit their job and they jump off and they realize now everything is on me. All responsibility is on me. Marketing is on me. Making sure that I get a paycheck is on me, right? And people realize that it's not as easy as they thought it would be. And they end up going back into that working field. And ain't nothing wrong with that. Because Double Duty's hiring. Fill out the application. What's up? Like, when you leave a warehouse, when you leave a working field, you don't leave pressure. You just trade whose pressure you carry. You trade how much of the load that you can take. That's what you trade. And you don't realize it in the moment, in the beginning. Even though at my situation, I was a foreman, I had to be everybody's brain. I had to be, like, we could never keep a staff, right? With doing the most physical work that you can do for the wages that we were offering. We could never keep a staff. So I had to be everybody's brain for them. They didn't believe that they got paid enough to use their brain. Like, yeah, you ain't got no boss, but now everything on you. You don't got no paycheck. So everything on you. You don't get no sick days. When life emergencies hit, you don't get no sick days. It's up to you to make sure that it happens. It's up to you to keep on bringing money back to that table. When it's all said and done, it's going to be on you. And in the warehouse work, I done put in 60, 70, 80-hour work weeks. But just in this 6 months of being a full-blown entrepreneur, I'm always working. I'm working right now. If you want to be real, okay? Like, I want to make content. I want to spread my knowledge, and I want to spread my perspective to hopefully help others, because that's what helped me out a lot, is learning from different podcast members and hearing different entrepreneurs and their trials and tribulations. Something that I can relate to, right? Like, everything is work, especially when you out here doing it on your own. And right now, we're going through our slow season, so things are really, really crunchy. So I'm just transforming my mind to become a creator. But when everything on your shoulders, man, that stress hit differently when now your family is going to suffer the consequences because of it. Before, I can make sure I go to work, get my 40, 45 hours a week, and no matter what, I'm going to be able to pay my bills. Right? It's not the case. It's not the case no more. I promise you. These 2, 3, 4 week stretch from Christmas all the way to New Year's, I remember when the factory used to get slow. I used to send everybody home. I'm in this joint. I'm cleaning up. I'm doing whatever needed to make sure I can get my paycheck. Right? A lot of people didn't want to work no ways. Especially the young guys. They was immediately, oh, we can go home. But as soon as that paycheck hit, they was sick. So what I did to flip the script, like, all right, bet. Go ahead and go home. Me being the foreman, me being the boss, I should have been the one going home and letting y'all work. But instead, I send them home, and I continue to get my money, man. Look, I've always been a hustler, always been a grinder. But now, in this slow period, I don't even know what to do. I'm making video after video after video. I'm not getting the recognition that I want, the recognition that I need. I'm trying to learn how to become a better editor and a better content creator. And at the same time, we got different inventions and stuff that's a burner. Like, another thing nobody talks about in this game is the loneliness when it comes to being an entrepreneur. And you know, in the warehouse work, you can stress together, you can complain together, you can laugh together, you know, talk shit together. Damn, muted my mic on accident, left some game on the table. Well, we're gonna fast forward. Man, and after all that, I still don't regret it. I still don't, man. Because when you're building something, when you're working hard, and you climbing up that mountain, it feels a lot better when you're building something with your name on it. I'm just gonna be real. It feels a lot better. It don't matter how much work I gotta put in. It don't matter how many times we like just barely made it. We just barely paid all the bills this month. It don't matter how many times that happens, especially, you know, within our first year. We would 100% do this every single time. Wish I would have done it sooner. Like, it's your vision. It's your future. I may work a lot more now, but I'm working towards something that I want to build. Okay? I appreciate y'all if y'all stay on this ride with us, man. Double Duty is definitely done grew to a 6-figure business in the first year, and we're trying to take it even further than that. There's no regret in the things that we've accomplished in the first year. We pushed over 125,000 in 6 months, and that just tells us that, you know, we're on pace to have a $250,000 business next year. If you're still working in a warehouse, man, I'm not telling you to quit your job tomorrow. I'm not telling you to go to work and say, fuck your boss. I'm just telling you to start where you are. Start scared, start tired, start small. Just start where you are and do something that you can see yourself doing. Not for the rest of your life, because it's stepping stones to this. Find something that you can do, something that you can add value and bring value to somebody's life. Like, you don't need no motivation. You just need to be consistent and have patience. I promise you that all it takes is be consistent and have patience. For us personally, Devontae, Samantha, with Double Duty, we started extremely small. We both was at work, and always been a guy, I feel like, that anytime anybody brings an idea to my attention, I just want to see it through. I always want to see that idea through. And what happened was we removed the couch for a couple off of next door, $100 couch with the back of our pickup truck. And at the same time, we were racking up money with scrap money. We were taking loads of scrap to the scrap yard with our pickup truck, 1,500, right? You know, ram boxes on the side, so really not that big of a bed, you know. And what happened is we decided to buy a small trailer. Not because we wanted to move junk. It was because we wanted to be able to make fewer trips to the scrapyard. I was just picking up scrap metal for free on the side of the road, right? But I was getting so good at it that every weekend, because we only could go on Saturdays because we worked full time, obviously, that every weekend on Saturday we would go. They closed at noon. We would have washers, dryers, ellipticals, treadmills, all that stacked up in our garage to the point it started to overflow. And we had to make 2-3 trips with our truck to the scrapyard, wasting gas as well. And we started getting to the point where we didn't have enough time because they closed at noon. We get up the kids at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. If you go back and watch all my shorts from the beginning of this page, you can see that we literally started with scrap metal, man. And from there, we did that, and we just started to charge for appliance removals because there'd be in a basement, there'd be, it'd be in some tough situations. So if you're out here still picking up scrap metal for free, I'm telling you, you can make money off of that. You don't have to do it for free, man. Like, people pay for it. But no, like that we started extremely small. We got that small trailer, not even knowing what we wanted to do, and then from there we ended up landing a few jobs. We painted a few decks. We sold some dirt, moved some dirt, and then we said, hey, like our trailer ended up needing to get repaired. So we didn't have our trailer for like 2-3 weeks because it was getting welded. So that led us to end up trying to find another trailer for cheap. So we bought a $1,000 trailer from a little town called Belvedere, drove out and got it, and we used that for our very first junk removal. And my auntie was moving to Florida, so she needed to get rid of a whole bunch of stuff. And we took all of her stuff out of her house, charged her $400 for it, cash. And then from there, we ended up selling like a bookcase and selling we was like, okay, like this is something that can happen. So from that moment, we decided what we wanted to do. And then we built walls on our trailer. We made us a full load price, and we started moving people and started hauling junk, and it literally transformed our life. And we did all this while working full time with 2 kids. So if you ever feel like you ain't got no time, just watch our story and you can see that it's possible. Because we didn't have no time. I guarantee you, we didn't have no time. But that 2 hours a night, I used to sit down and play 2K. That's all it took. That 2 hours a night that she used to watch her show, that's all it took to grow something that was 6 figures in the first year. So when I tell you it's possible, I mean it's possible. But the doubts was always there, especially with me. I didn't want to leave my job. I had put so much work, sweat, and tears into that building. I didn't want to leave that for somebody else to mess it up. Right? But me leaving that gave me the opportunity to put that same blood, sweat, and tears into something that would last for years. That will last for decades. That I can pass down through generations if I want to. Not just the business itself, but the wealth that we create from it. You don't leave work behind. You just choose what you're willing to suffer for. And I choose to build something that lasts. If you're on the same journey and still figuring it out, man, you're not alone. This channel is just showing me the real side of building something from nothing. Stick around, man. We just getting started.